Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Um, my name is Jumana Hamdani. I am a registered architect both in Sweden and Germany with more than 20 years experience in architecture practice and urban design. So I don't know where is Michael. He said that he's the oldest, but I will be the oldest woman doing that moment as a PhD student. My topic is digital sustainability on the AEC sector. My supervisors are Professor Shan, Professor Markus Höllerer, and Dr. Sandeep Mysore. So let me start with a very simple question. What does it mean to build something digitally and sustainably? Something that lasts? Well, we used to think about sustainability in terms of embodied carbon, energy use, life cycle cost. And when we think about digital transformation, we think about digital tools as enablers, such as BIM or twin transition. But we rarely ask this question: what happens when these two powerful forces, digital and sustainably, meet? This emerging space is called digital sustainability, and that's the heart of my research. So we are witnessing right now what the European Commission call it the twin transition. This twin transition is a phenomena that we are witnessing in different sectors, which is both green and digital. It is no longer enough for our sector to survive and only adapt smart tools. We need to adapt smart values. So I've been exploring the core idea of digital sustainability, not as digital tools to reduce environmental impact, but more about designing systems and workflows and cultures that themselves are sustainable. Through the building life cycle, that means reducing digital waste. That means designing for resilience. That means looking at culture and talents. So we need to treat digital sustainability not just as a buzzword, but rather than a strategic capability, a way how to redesign the way we plan, the way we build, the way we operate our spaces is about retooling our practice for impact. So why would it matter to all of us here, whether we are AC or not? This sector is in charge of more than 40% of CO2 emission, and that's a huge, both operational and embodied emission. This sector also grapples with the significant consumption of natural resources, extensive waste of production, landfill, delayed project and deadlines, and business benefits promised, and they are not met. I know we've been depressing you with this for the past 2 days, but that's a reality. But for you as an AC leader, specifically, why would that matter to you? Because clients are demanding carbon accountability. Regulators are asking and shifting for mandatory ESG reporting, and digital infrastructures are in a condition of competitiveness. You don't want to end up developing a tool in your firm that is not integrated. You don't want to underutilize a data that is already collected in your firm but not used. You don't want to miss an opportunity of a circular design in any project. The good news is both practice and research shows that digital technology do offer the potential of sustainable improvement. So if that's the case, if that's the solution, where is the gap? The gap is in alignment. We lack a clear, actionable understanding of what digital sustainability means in practice, because it's still a concept. If we want to build our cities and buildings in a way that lasts socially, environmentally, and economically, then we need to build alignment. The adaptation gap persists not for the lack of intent, but because our system is not designed to align both logics of digital and sustainable. And in fact, that's what we are doing in the management lab. We are looking at different kinds of alignment: strategic alignment, operational alignment, sectoral alignment, and even cultural and talent alignment. Before I dig deeper into my topic, I just want to show you where I sit in this beautiful constellation of the management lab. My topic is number 7. I'll be exploring an overarching question. How will the increasing sustainability pressure shape the AEC sector, its business model, especially considering the building life cycle, and where it would be initiative about digital sustainability in practice? My study, I'm going to break it down into 3 studies. First one is a literature review. I'm going to define what is digital sustainability in the AEC sector, specifically for AEC sector. Second one, I'm going to build a roadmap, a blueprint, a practical model of how we turn that into practice. It's going to be an action design research. The third one, part of those core levers I'm defining in my second study, I'm going to test it empirically into building an AI tool focusing on urban digital sustainability. I'll give you a little bit glimpse, overview of each study. I'm not going to go into details. Please feel free if you want to ask about questions or gaps. In academia, I just made this presentation a little bit industry friendly today. So this is on a sector level, the first one, literature review. And like I said, my research question is about defining that term in our AEC sector. Well, the definition do exist in business school. It has been a while for it comes in fact from sociology science, the first term that was coined like 20 years ago. But the thing is, if you look at this definition, the development and deployment of digital resources and artifacts towards improving environmental, society, and economy welfare. There is lack of certain property in that definition, which is organizational, human factor, aspects of material and building life cycle assessment, which is the core of our practice. So what I did in my literature, I went back to track if there is any life cycle thinking. And what is surprising for me, in fact, the life cycle thinking was there in the very beginning when it was coined, but somehow when we cite each other, it became more abstract and generalized, and it ended up only on focusing on sustainability and technology without thinking about the circular design. So I chose a method, which we call it semantic decomposition process. It might sound very complicated, but I did this diagram just to break it down for you to make it very easy. Imagine I have 5 definitions of digital sustainability, because right now there's almost around 29 or 30 definitions in the literature. I break it down into 4 primitives. The first one is the target, then the entity, and the means, and then the outcome. The outcome, of course, is focusing on the sustainability. The means, it's focusing on what you are using, which is the technologies. And then you have the target. Am I targeting sector level, organizational level, individual level? And then the third one, what is the scope? Is it the making? Is it the development? Is it the creating, for example? And I'm not going to share the definition that I come with because it's still under process. So that's maybe make it a teaser for you to come next year and present that for you, because I'm finalizing that for the coming 2 months. I'm also in study number 1. I am mapping out the digital enablers of digital sustainability. What kind of technology that exists in our AEC? What is the sustainability dimension of them? What is the implementation status? Is it established? Is it emerging? We all know, of course, like BIM, for example, is more established than other type, like this. Yeah, I know. And then we look also at success factor. What are the success factor of each one of them? Study number 2, this is more this is an action design research. I'm going to co-design with our Kumano staff here, and we are going to understand and build a framework from the first study with the help of the data collected by our Kumano previously for forming this cohort of PhDs. And in a way, we want to understand the transitional pathways, barriers, opportunity, enabling structure. So the objective of this study is to identify those, we call them core levers or strategic drivers, with an inductive framework, like something based up to build up that kind of framework. So it's practical. The third one, I'm going to pick one of those core levers, and I want to test it empirically. And I just want to point out something. Maybe some of you might say, why didn't you use the definition that already exists and just add life cycle building? It could be like that, right? But it's very important to emphasize that if you have a clarity in your definition, empirically, you can be more precise and you can enhance when you want to test a model, or you want to enhance, or you want to test a system, or you want to build a tool, because it's based on a clear definition. So just to recap my 3 studies. My first study is a literature review. I'm mapping out, I'm defining digital sustainability, its digital enablers, and I'm looking at the core pillar of each one of them. So as you see, for example, digital transformation has technological, organizational, and cultural. And for the sustainability imperative, we have the environmental, economical, and social. The second one, which is the roadmap or the practical model, I call it, I'm going to define the core levers. So for now, we say 6, but probably there's a finite way to map or align from that side to that side. I'm going to develop 2 internal, 2 external, and 2 foundational. Study number 3, which is I have an engagement participation with architects. So they had a problem and we map it, we pin it out that it could work in that kind of alignment. We're looking at technological, environmental, connecting AI from that side to regenerative or predictive design. So the core that we are defining is focusing on the data-driven decision-making. Again, my thesis doesn't pretend to have all the answers about digital sustainability, yet it aimed to map, it aimed to translate the concept of digital sustainability into capability, to align your tech stack, to align your organizational structure and culture in order not only to cope, but to lead in the next era. For my progress so far, I passed my confirmation in my school in May successfully. And right now, and I published this paper on building a machine learning model to predict events in a square. It's very interesting. My colleagues from IAC in Spain and CETA from Denmark, we wrote that paper and we did build the model. And I think you maybe noticed that one of them is from Grimshaw as well. It's very interesting because some similarity in the workflow might be similar to study number 3 that I'm going to work with. Of course, the data and the model itself might differ as well. Yeah, and for my milestone, study number 1, I'm going to attend a workshop to develop my literature review. Good news that the people who run that workshop is Auckland University. They are specialists in the topic of digital sustainability as well, and they have published. Having feedback from people outside our cohort will be also very beneficial. And study number 2, I'm going to kickstart it next year. And study number 3, we already started with architects, our first round of interviews with the project leader to define the problem. And the design would be probably after October. So I like to end my presentation with an invitation to all of you. This is your work too. You are not just builders of infrastructures. You are builders of systems and values and vision. And I want you to think of digital sustainability not just as a mindset, or sorry, not as a checklist. Like you need to go through that kind of list. You need to think about it as a mindset, as an ecosystem of decision, tools, and collaboration. I'll be sharing my finding as I go in Think and Drink and other events at ArcMano, and I welcome any partnership or conversation. I just want to end up this. I believe, and maybe I'm a little bit optimistic or enthusiastic about my journey, but together we can shape a sector that is not only efficient, but intelligent, that is not only smart, but wise, that is not only fast, but lasting. Thank you.